Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I have to apologize for being a little bit late. Kind of had some issues getting YouTube to start everything. Anyways, let's go and look at the market. Kind of getting some interesting behavior here. You're gonna go right into the chart. Where is my volume profile chart? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so yesterday we had another really solid move up. I kind of struggled in some of this inside area, but in the end, I ended up taking something like from here to here. That trade yesterday. So that turned out really great. I'm really happy about it, but I'm not happy about my earlier trading. Anyways, last hour of the day, we just got this wicked sell, and they really just absolutely decimated them. Then came up, there was a little bit of a rebound going into the close. Overnight, they tried to push it down a little bit lower, but man, they can't keep this thing down. So they popped back up. They did not beat out the high, and they're selling again. If we do enough damage before the open, this could be really bad. But I don't know. This thing right here reminds me a lot of this one over here, right? And it was kind of a similar thing overnight, right? They tried to push it lower, didn't work. They came up, they didn't go quite as high, came back, and then what? In the end, they popped up. So we'll see if this one resolves the same way. But that's kind of where we're at. Treasuries a little bit lower again today. They were low yesterday. They popped back up. They're low again today. Maybe they will pop back up. But at the moment, they do not appear to be too concerned about things. Oh, we should do oil as well because oil has been rallying quite a bit here. I kind of wonder about this whole area because obviously this thing right here was irrational. Okay. This was retail traders coming in and shorting it because they heard that they were zero. Okay, but so of course we're going to retrace it, and we're back to 20. Now we kind of get back to from a valuation perspective, are we really properly valued or not? I don't know, but we are starting to see relatively strong moves down this morning, and that appears to be harming the equities. So that is where we are at. Also, today at 7:30 when the market opens, I have another video coming out. I don't normally do 2 little short videos in the week, but hey, we might end up doing this a lot more often because I have the time when we're home. Kind of late in the evening, I can get the kids to bed and I can make a video, and it's really nice. So but this video is important because there is some stuff going on around the close. It's always been going on, but it didn't always have a significant impact. And now it is that I think you need to know about. So I made a video for that. If you could pass the link around and everything when we get it so that, everybody here on the channel, at the very least, all of my friends know what's going on. Yeah. So, thank you in advance for that. And let's start the Texas speech for you guys. I blew my nose just before I got on stream and it kind of plugged my ear and it's not popping. It's bothering me. All right. The treasuries look bid. Yeah, they're definitely bid. Wondering how correlated are we to the 60 right now? Oh, my dollar index not working. That's curious. It might be because of some futures rolling over. Let's see. No, well, Bitcoin is rolling over. Okay, so there was the 6:30 news. This is Treasury refunding announcement is what I'm seeing here on my news schedule, but oh my. Oh my. Would you look at that? This is not a piece of news that I'm familiar with, so let's look up try and find some more information about it, shall we? Well, Forex Factory doesn't even show up. That sure impacted them bonds, though. They came down hard. Even equities moved a little bit on it, too. Yeah. I haven't seen that much volume in treasuries in a while. It's been a minute, right? Let me make sure I got the text to speech on. There we go. I don't see anything about it on Twitter, even though it's very much impacting the market. I don't know. This could very quickly turn into like a real bender
Junior
because
says good morning, traders.
Hey, good morning, JR. Because we're falling out of the range now, right? We haven't been this low since April 14th. I guess that's not that bad, but interestingly enough, the pressure still seems to favor the buyers just a teeny tiny bit. U.S. Treasury announcement: record 96 billion U.S. coupon debt sales increases to be larger in longer tenures. Ooh, so it probably hit the 30-year harder. Anthony Crudele tweeting yesterday, losing happens to me on a regular basis as a trader, but my focus remains on finding ways to win. When losing takes control of your emotions, the market takes from you. Acceptance of loss is not a weakness, it's a strength, so you can remain the game to keep fighting. Cool. What's Gary Norton talking about over here? As people lose their jobs, they can become more easily enticed to try trading to earn income. Most will use CFDs and Forex platforms, use technical analysis types tools, and will lose. Trading is a very tough business. It takes months and years of hard work to become anywhere near decent. As the Australian economy teeters towards a recession, ASIC warned this type of activity was likely to lead to heavy losses that could not happen at a worse time for many families. Oh, yeah. There are definitely a lot of people trying to trade right now because they got too much free time from the lockdown. Okay, treasuries appear to have stabilized around 17. Who knows? Oh, there can always be another wave. And the E-mini starting to look like they might want to turn back down again. And you know what? I want to change my chart a little bit. Well, we're sitting here and it's quiet. I want to add a super smoother on here. Where is it? Oh, it's up in here. Super smoother. But put it on the tick. Yes, I want the super smoother.
Baron Glass says good morning, Seth in chat.
Hey, how are you? And this one right here, I want this to be like, the pulling should be blue and the stacking should be like really light blue. It should be like, sky blue. Then I make the offers red. So this will be like orange. Where's orange? Orange. And this should be more like red. I just make it straight red. Cool. Okay, so there was a good dip. We are negative this hour. Quite negative, in fact. We're below this. Well, it's 2870 area is actually a pretty critical area. Oh, block sell at 14. Wow, they dove again. So is the Treasury just putting out more supply in the market than we expected, I guess? I mean, that sort of stuff makes me think that you can just get a trend day into treasuries, That particular price, though, is probably pretty dangerous. You could get whipped around a lot. Big orders, man. I kind of have to come in here and change this because 500 is too small. Okay, so I'm getting something here in the equities. Probably, interest rates increasing a
Big
little
Toasty
bit.
says why you
Equity's
use
probably not
SMA
going to
instead
be.
of a Emma?
Um. Oh, you know what? That's funny that I have those. I fixed that so that we don't have to see that in there anymore, but no particular reason. This particular one is, well, so in this particular one, I've just noticed that the 10-minute SMA is extremely influential. So when they touch that thing, you'll either see a bounce or a cross over it, but every time that you do, you're going to see a lot of people involved in the market. So to me, that's like the turning spot. So I'm not, you know, I don't know when it's going to cross and when it's going to bounce and things like that. That's not really the strategy. But what I am looking for is which side of that are they really trading volume? So I want to know which side of that moving average we're actually on. I actually don't even really want that chart up. We want to look at oil, right? No, up to you guys really, because I don't look down there. Really don't. I almost never look at the lower portion of the screen. Okay, so that was a pretty good sweep down in the
Big
equities.
Toasty says okay, interesting.
Yeah. So you just notice that on this one, I'm using a volume moving average, a volume weighted moving average is the green line. So and that's kind of the shorter one because I want to know where if they're actually trading volume. So kind of what I'm looking for is they traded a bunch of volume down here, and now prices moved up, and that volume is starting to trade up here, and so all of the guys that traded down here are stuck, and so it's going to have to snap back up. Okay, Rand Squawk has a treasury refunding summary that we can read here. Let's look. 3 years. They're looking for 42 billion, previously 38 billion, 10-year, 32 billion, previously 27 billion, 30-year, 22 billion, previously 19 billion. Launches a 20-year bond size 20 billion. Exploring the possibility of issuing a floating rate SOFR linked issue intends to mostly increase auction sizes for FRN and TIPS to remain unchanged. Treasury expects to begin to shift financing from bills to longer dated tenures over the coming quarters. Expectations have been raised heading into the announcement after the Treasury financing estimates released Monday. However, the size of the issuance has exceeded expectations, and as a result, we are continuing to see yields rise. 10-year yields crossing 0.7 briefly. Analysts also suggest that the lack of a 4-year or 6-year announcement in the headlines seems to suggest the play of curve steepening will likely continue. And we can see a big order showing up here now in the bonds. That's quite a big order. It was 600. I haven't seen a crazy thing in the bonds in a while. Or at least I haven't noticed. I'm often not paying attention. Okay. And the equities took a big dip there and they're coming back down. I could potentially take a short almost anywhere in here, but I'm much more interested in 2857. Well, that and this 2871.50. 2871.50 is a key crossing point too, but because that was the month start. But this day start 2857, right? Yes. Week is all the way down at 2789. Ooh, we could get down there, my friends. Let's see. If we hadn't risen up, and actually gone down overnight, and then we could sell in the day, and then that target would be right there, but it's super far away at the moment. So I don't know if that's really going to come into play. But I am seeing a little bit of consolidation in here after that strong move down. Treasuries did bounce off of that low pretty hard. And I've finally seeing the balance shift. So now it's definitely more on the sell side. So let's see what happens to some of these big orders, like this 33 up at 15.5 in the 10-year. Should copy that. The curve is looking like a Nike copyright lawsuit after this. Okay, so some volume here at 2866. Ooh. What the hell? I think that I just had like a power spike there, and that was just my UPS light coming on briefly. But we're all good. Kind of scared me though. So I just saw a light over in the corner. I'm like, there's no lights over there. So it had to have been the UPS on the floor. But I didn't know that the UPS had a light. I don't know. Well, maybe it'll happen again. I don't know. The treasuries are coming up into that liquidity up there and already having a hard time with it. This line right here, I need to change it. Oh, okay, never mind. We're good. Can they make it back above 2869.25? At the moment, they're kind of trying to not let them. Fed's Bullard says the U.S. jobs report on Friday will be one of the worst ever. Economists expect the Labor Department's jobs report on Friday to show that the U.S. unemployment rate to have skyrocketed to 16% in April from 4.4% in March. Adam Paul lacks of it. The Nevada Dems, DNC, and DCCC, and Priorities USA all team up to sue Nevada to ballot harvest and mail inactive voters. Then a last-second shady deal is cut with the Dem local county to give them their demands, $300,000 in the pandemic for harvesting in inactive mail. Wow! So that would very much affect that. Hold on. I need to see. So if that really, well, I think Nevada is leaning Democrat anyways. Kind of turns Nevada hard Democrat, though. It's interesting. Okay. I don't know if that's a big deal then. Okay. So they did recover that price level. So I kind of feel like we're in a little bit. Like we had a pretty big down hour there, the last hour, and this hour may actually turn green. So I am not so sure that I'm in an area where I have a really good probability of things going my way. So I'm kind of sitting back a little bit. How did the euro respond to all that? No, it doesn't look like it really affected them all that much. They kind of took a little dip in recovery on it. Yeah, like they're getting up there now. Now they are coming up to kind of more of a turning point. Where are we at on here? Okay. Oh, it's traded at 14 there. Look at that. 50, 60,000 traded at 14. Wowzer. All in just the last 20 minutes. I feel short of breath for some reason. Maybe I'm just trying to not breathe on the microphone. Okay. So remember, 7150 is a key turning point too, because that is where we started the month. So they're it looks like they're fiddling around with it a little bit. Let's see if they recover it and move up or not. But interesting how everything is turning right there at that spot. Trump advisor Hassert U.S. GDP could plunge 40% in quarter two. Reports tell the trader. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassert warned on Wednesday the United States gross domestic product could sink a significant 40%. Oh, it's just the same thing. Why would you just repeat yourself? Trading floor audio. Come on. House Democrats unveil legislation to forgive student loans for healthcare workers. They really want to sneak that in there, don't they? Okay. No. All right, let's see if this one goes or not. I feel a little bit skeptical about this one, but everything seems to be lining up for me, so. German government, German states agree Bundesliga can restart in second half of May with restrictions. Oh, that is football, I guess. As Brits, which German football team should we support and why? Well, the premiers remain salted. Oh, jeez. They really care about their football, man. Can't they just play too well? I guess you really don't even want to play in an empty stadium because the players can get each other sick. It's all esports, and they already the ASL StarCraft Remastered League is already finished. What are we gonna watch, guys? Counter Strike. Okay, so they made a good progress up there, and then look, they got swept down. Don't you just hate those? I said that twice. I'm so silly. Okay, so they recovered that 28-73 after that sweep. It's so annoying. And they're not quite ready to go. Nope. They're a little lackadaisical about it. They might be waiting or searching for a pullback of some sort. So that trend up certainly looks strong at the moment. So we got about 3 minutes to the top of the hour. They often don't really step in equities until after the top of the hour, just because they like to start making moves 30 minutes before the NYSE open. So we shall see. Okay. So there's our little ding. Oh, you know what? I hope I don't have a second workspace open in the background. I do. No. Okay. 72. They're still being pretty quiet here, actually. It's always really odd to me when, it looked like they were having a lot of activity, a strong trend, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like dies out. I suppose that means that maybe it was somebody big causing all of that action, and they decided to hold off here for whatever reason, waiting for the market to push them, or just biding their time.
Air Cages says, hey Seth, I'm here. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, always late. You're never here at 6:20, man. Come on. Tisk tisk. Trading day starts early. Early bird gets the worm. You know what, Air Cages, you can come whenever you want. We appreciate you at any time that you're here. Even if it's like the last 5 minutes of the stream, or if you're the first person to speak. Okay, well, they're kind of coming back up again.
Air Cages says, I won't let it happen again.
Oh, man. I tell you what, sometimes I'll complain about something with my family, and they always find a way that they never say that. I'm looking for them to say, "Oh yeah, that's something that we can fix. I won't do it again." Okay, I'm getting a confirming signal here. I'm gonna add another contract. Darn it. But they never say that. They always argue and find a way to turn it into Seth as a jerk. Which, I mean, I think I probably am a jerk, but man, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. I just want. Why can't you just say, "Oh, okay, I'll try and remember that in the future." Not even it won't happen again. By Air Cages, I won't let it happen again. So resolute. That's what I like to see, guys. Action. Action. Determination. Putting out a set path for yourself. Well, it looks like that I could have done a little bit better on that second entry.
Air Cages says they've got your number, Seth lol.
I guess. One of the problems is that I think the kids are starting to learn what sort of things trigger me. Hey, that was a good sweep up there. I like that. Juanita Broderick tweets, Comey and Brennan have been very quiet the last several days. I guess their attorneys finally got it across to them to shut the F up. Probably. Interesting.
Gary Rich says all kids trigger everything.
I'm telling you what, I'm sure they get it from their dad, but they are 100% will try and manipulate people socially. They totally do it. And they try and do it to me. The girls will try and boss me around, which is like why would, of all of the people in the world that you would try and boss around, I'm probably one of the last people that you want to try and do that to. But they also seem to know what it's sort of like. I'm trying to think of what's an example. Well, so like one of the things that they do is like, if I put something on the stove, so like I'll make tuna helper, and then it has to sit for 10 minutes. So I'll put it on simmer and walk away. And then when it goes and they say, hey, it's done. But the way that they say it, they always say it like I'm in trouble or something. Oh, it drives me nuts the way that they say it. Seth! Like, come on. I'm not in trouble. Stop talking like I'm in trouble. Turkish trade minister urges Turkish countries to act jointly for effective use of railways in foreign trade during period of pandemic. Reports Anadolu. that was a really good, strong up move there. I'm wondering, it's starting at the right time. It's starting at the right time. Well, I should take one contract off if I can get it up there. That'll give me lots of room to work. Maybe not. I'm thinking about, no, where did I take the second contract from? Oh, I don't remember anymore. Oh, interestingly, that the E-mini moved up further than the micros did on that move. Treasury is feeling a little pressure again. Just a little bit more. You know you want to. You know you want to. Excellent. So we can put this way up here. I'm feeling a little too comfortable here. I don't know. Donald Trump tweeting. Oh, it was a big, like, four-parter. The White House Coronavirus Task Force, headed by Vice President Mike Pence, has done a fantastic
Box
job.
says, hey, you look like the Ninja Trader coding guru I watched last night on YouTube.
Oh, hey, thanks, John. All right, let me read this tweet. The White House Coronavirus Task Force, headed by Vice President Mike Pence, has done a fantastic job of bringing together a highly complex resources that have set a high standard for others to follow in the future. Ventilators, which were few and in bad shape, are now being produced in the thousands, and we have many to spare. We are helping other countries which are desperate for them. Likewise, after having been left little, we are now doing more testing than all other countries combined, with superior tests. Face masks and shields, gloves, gowns, etc. are now plentiful. The last four governors' teleconference calls have been conclusively strong. Because of this success, the task force will continue on indefinitely with its focus on safety and opening up of our country again. We may add or subtract people to it as appropriate. The task force will also be very focused on vaccines and therapeutics. Thank you. He is slamming down the report from the New York Times yesterday that they were going to wind down the coronavirus task force. I think that probably what happened was they put out a trial balloon, and it wasn't. That's possible that it was a trial balloon. And the result of the trial balloon was, no, we're going to keep the task force around, but we might add or remove people from it as necessary. That makes sense. Okay. I am seeing just a slight, it's not enough for me to really be concerned, but I am seeing a little bit of profit taking up here. And then move fizzled out really quickly if that's the case, but I'm kind of, well, I don't know. I have to think here, like, what is something that I really definitely don't want to see? I haven't seen it yet. Oh, well, there's one thing I can think of that I definitely don't want to see. But even if I see that, it's not like the end of the world. I could still possibly hold it and see if they for another leg, you know? They're kind of doing this thing again where they might have made a pivot high, but it's taking a long time for it to confirm. They're definitely fighting over it. Looks like that one failed. Created an outside bar though. So the issue that I'm having right now is this looks like it's going to play out again bullish. And I feel like that there's some pretty strong resistance up above us. So when I'm looking at it, it looks like, oh man, this can just run. But then I know based off of yesterday that there's some reasons that I should be a little bit cautious about that. Now look at that. Are you going to shove it again? Yeah. Maybe one or two more there. Okay. Oh, look at him stack at 28.77. Yeah. It's good. It's good. Hmm. Oh, sorry. So you guys are saying a couple more things here.
Air Cages says, how do your kids react to the whole YouTube streaming thing? Do they look up to you for having an internet following? RJ Wheel says, I thought that guy was the congressman from House of Cards.
So my youngest daughter Abby from time to time will be like, "What's your YouTube channel?" and she'll pull it up and she'll show it to me. She's always trying to show me videos of herself. So I'm like I know I was there. Like I'm not. I don't really. I should be like, "Oh wow, that's so cool!" Like I remember that. And but I'm trying to teach them that like um what's happening in the moment right now is more important than what you have recorded. So I'm trying not to react to it. I don't think that she's getting that one though yet. I think I need to change my tactic because it's probably just coming off as like, oh, he doesn't care. But I mean, it's not for kids, so it's not really something that they're going to be interested in sitting and watching all the time. Plus, I think they were kind of interested in, like doing YouTube stuff, but then the whole COPPA thing happened and everything, and that kind of killed that. So, anyways,
Bot says I added an HMA to that SS signal we were working on the other day. It looks like it's an improvement.
oh, okay, that's interesting. I was wondering because I had been talking to somebody else. They were having some programming issues, and they were actually working on a strategy that was very similar. And I was wondering if instead of looking for the zero line cross, we would look for just the pivot at the bottom on the speed line and see how that would change. I know for most of you that's like incredibly vague, but I don't want to reveal what the strategy is. Um, I thought that guy was a congressman from the House of Cards. Which guy? Where are we talking about? Anyways, let me turn this back on. I'm trying to pay attention to this. Okay, so they did confirm a pivot there. So does that mean I should try and get out? Or is it just a temporary...
Bot says maybe you should narrate a few episodes of Peppa Pig for her.
They're not into Peppa Pig. Oh my gosh. You know what show they would watch all the time and like I hope that they just forget about it. Oh, I don't even remember the name of it, but it was on Netflix and it was like Bugs, and it was basically this 3D animated Bugs, and the whole show was basically them. Like there was no words. It was just them, the bugs like farting and being gross and stuff. Oh, hated that show. Hated that show. Like her, uh, so I don't want to say her kids, but I'm stepdad and they grew up without me. So like in my mind, when you're 5 years old, you watch Sesame Street. That is the show. When I was 5, Sesame Street was the shit. I mean, that show was so good. I can remember all of those songs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Come on. You all know it, right? You watch Sesame Street. They don't watch Sesame Street. They didn't watch Sesame Street. Asher, he should watch Sesame Street. Don't put that on. That's good educational television. That's my opinion on it. None of this gross, disgusting bug. Educational television. If we can, please. Please. I just got one thing that I always kind of I think about a lot is like I think I'm a relatively intelligent person. I do. I would be lying if I sat down and I said, "Oh, I think I'm dumb." I really don't think I'm dumb. I think that if you gave me an IQ test, I would probably come pretty close to the average, to 100, maybe a little bit more. And they say that, people that are really smart tend not to think that they're really smart, and people that are really dumb actually often think that they're smarter than average. But when you look at that study, and you look at the comments from the scientists in like the media reports when that study was released, I don't think that he was trying to say, "Oh yeah, really dumb people for some reason think they're smart." It's not that. I don't think that's what he was trying to say at all. I think what he was trying to say was that if you don't think you're smart, you put more effort into it. And then because you put more effort into it, you exercise your brain more, and that makes you smarter. That it's the act of putting the effort in that makes people unusually intelligent or not. You know what I mean? And so I always think about those things, like I'm always trying to, like, what are things that I can do to keep my mind active and to make my kids' minds active so that they don't just, you know, kind of get lazy about it. Okay, so they are trying to push down here. Mm-mm-mm.
305,790 says at used Cookie Monster in 2 of their commercials.
Oh yeah. I saw this funny thing that was like, Cookie Monster, like, can you imagine how hard his life is? Because all he lives for is making cookies. And then every time that he tries to eat a cookie, it explodes and falls out of his mouth. That must be so terrible for him. I thought that was really funny.
Bot says you're officially a dinosaur.
I guess.
Baron Glass says love 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 the ocean, show respect for the sea, be a friend to the water cause it's a friend to you and me.
Wait, what?
Bot says thumbs up.
Daniel K says Sesame Street good but not what it used to be.
No, you're
Big
totally
bird
right. In the 2000s, they kind of when they made the shift to Elmo, it wasn't as interesting to me. No, it's not called Buddy
A
Goody.
mini trader says was it Budai? Those farting bugs?
I think it's just called Bugs or something like that. That was so gross. I can't. Or Larva. I think it was called Larva. I'm not a fan of it. Okay. Well, I didn't get like my clear take profit signal, and I'm noticing that I usually don't get them until later in the day, anyways. So I'm really kind of wondering here if I should have taken them both off up there or what. Rennigan Barrett US curve starting to steepen aggressively again as the reality of issuance begins to be priced in. The Fed can only absorb so much selling at a given time. USD starting to move a headache again. The March themes are surfacing again. Short risk is the right strategy, says Brannigan Barrett. Because of the yield curve steepening, huh? I don't know. I didn't even have a chart of that open. Oh, yes, I do. Volume profile. See, 2s and 10s flattened, actually. Oh, no, wait. Up is steepening. Steepening. Yes, steepening. It's not as steep as it was. Like, it was steeper back at the lows. I see what he's saying now. Okay, so he's saying that when we were moving down aggressively in equities, the yield curve was steepening. And I don't know if he's reading too much into the correlation, but we're steepening again, and so he's suggesting that because of the steepening yield curve that's negative for equities. I do think that because the treasuries yield have increased a little bit today, that is a negative for equities. But they kind of they went through that place, and treasuries didn't really seem to like equities let the treasury thing happen, and then once treasuries were done, then equities started buying again. You should watch the GSL today. Scarlet is playing. Well, also I hadn't heard.
Bot says gold and treasuries both moving lower this morning.
Oh, gold moved down too, huh?
Baron Glass says Sesame Street was my life growing up.
When I was a kid, that was the big
Roby
thing.
Mani says, do you think yesterday's sell will continue?
Oh yes, this one we got to address this. So when the yesterday's close happened, because I watched that, and I think that there's a bias we get, like recency bias and so forth. Like, because I watched that move, I think it becomes more important to me, and that's a heuristic bias. So I might be over exaggerating it, but when it sold down, I was like, wow, that was a real sell. Like, that is really bearish. But then we moved up overnight, and this looks very, very similar to the move that we saw on the 28th and 29th. Big move up in the day, stalled out, sold almost the whole thing. Overnight session started. They tried to push it lower. In the end, they came back up. They didn't quite make a higher high, but they tried. And then they came back. And then in the regular session, if it follows the same pattern, then in the regular session, they just took off. And that was like strong up. But there's absolutely no reason that it would follow the same pattern now as it did before. But that's kind of the way that it's trading. But when I look at kind of my crossovers and everything like that, absolutely everything that I have is in confluence with a long, which is why I took the long that I did. So I'm pretty skeptical that even though I really feel like the fundamentals would justify a sell-off at some point, everything seems to be screaming long right now. And so if I really wanted to take a short, I would have to wait for some confirmations, because right now there's just not a high enough probability of me catching something on that. That makes sense. So yeah, um, we're kind of getting close to the open. I'm wondering if I need to give this room because I kind of want to see if I can just hold it through the open. Yeah. Bitcoin safe happening. I really feel like normally the happening happens when people don't care about Bitcoin, and now everybody is trying to front run it like, oh, it does change supply, but you got to remember that it takes a while for that to kind of impact things. So if you're already front running it, then you're overbought, I think. But we'll see after the halvening happens, and we give it a month or two, and then we'll see where if the valuations come back into line. Because if they're front running it, they're just trying to predict where the valuation is going, and maybe my indicator could be slow in that situation. Anyways, so Daniel was saying Scarlet's playing. I haven't really tried watching the StarCraft 2 ones. I guess I should try because, what else am I going to watch? But I think I should try. So yesterday I posted a video. I posted it at 2 o'clock after the market closed because I wanted to see if people watch. Seems like most of you guys, you come in and you check my channel in the morning. I have a video coming out in 4 minutes that I recorded last night about this huge increase in volatility that we're seeing 10 minutes before the close. Long story short, we're talking about it in Discord, and what happens is that is a cutoff time for people to submit market on close orders, and then the NYSE releases information. So what it is it's a news event, and normally that news event wouldn't really be a big deal, but because the NYSE floor is closed, it's causing a lot of volatility. So I made a short video about that. And I think that I should continue to try and make short videos and comment on current events if I can. Yeah. It's because I literally pick up like almost 2 hours when I don't have to drive to the gym. So, that's that's just enough time to record a little video. I just do them in this setup, so they're not like the most amazing videos, but yeah, I think I want to spend more time doing that. 3 minutes. And I need to remember to check what our volatility projection is when this goes. Okay, so a little bit of profit taking there ahead of the open, I think. Yeah, the treasuries did go down and make a slightly lower low again, by the way. I think it'd be really hard to try and take any kind of a long in the treasuries right now. It's unfortunate, but 90 seconds. I was just thinking about something politics right now, but now is not the time to get into that. 2876. That was a level we spent a lot of time at yesterday, wasn't it? Twum Dog asks me where my stop is. Yeah, well, I don't know if I really. That's just kind of like protective, but I don't. I'm trying to just to really take a swing trade. So this is kind of where the thing is like I would rather take a swing trade like 15 minutes after the open happens. But I happened to get a really good spot. So but then I'm worried that in the open, even though we might end up resolving up that they're going to try and push around a little bit. And so, I don't know. We probably should just cancel that. But okay, here we go. Okay. So not a very clear direction on the first impulse. I'm going to battle it out a little bit here. It does look like the volume is long. I was kind of thinking there that 50. I was like, okay. So if I wanted to just take a set profit target, then I could do that. But I think in this situation, I really want to see if I can hold it today for the volatility target. That's kind of my goal today. I'm doing something a little different. We're going to have to wait 5 minutes or so for me to be able to see what that target is, though. Unless John gives it to me earlier than that. Rand Paul, in many ways, the shutdown went too far. I agree. I think the shutdown was a good idea, but some people took it too far. Okay, so there was a little bit of a buy, a little bit of a sell. The volume, it kind of went both ways, so I don't see like a super clear direction volume wise. It does appear like the buyers are a little stronger. I'm definitely seeing that on the book. Okay, here's the tick. How many bars do I need to get on the tick before I can see the super smoother? Okay. It's another good push there. I'm going to start pushing above that hour that started negative, 28.80.50. And they already got through that. And 28.82.25. And then some of these high swing highs over here. Cool. U.S. Trade Representative says the United States and the United Kingdom agree that a free trade agreement would contribute to the long-term health of our economies, which is vitally important as we recover from the challenges posed by COVID-19. Great PR there. Okay, so what was SP? Was that? I don't know what that meant. I forget what that meant. I put that in there. Well, looks like they might be doing a pivot high here. You got about 30 seconds left. I'm feeling a little tense. Okay, so there was a strong impulse there trying to shove it across the open. And they recover it. It's still fighting there. It was a pivot high on the 1 minute chart. Okay, let's see here. What's John saying?
Bot says VIX targets plus 50% 2,907.83 plus 100% 2,936.65.
907.
Bot says VIX targets minus 50% 2,850.17 to 100% 2,821.35.
Then what's the downside? 2850. So let's come and look at our profile. 2850 would be a pretty good retracement down. 2907, there is a point of control up there. So today, I don't see one side or the other having a greater confluence with the volume profile. But, indications at the moment still appear very much long. So we'll see that could change very quickly, especially around the open time period. But thank you for that.
Air Cages says imagine if you had your stop at break-even lol.
I don't even think that they did it. So it's going to be a pivot low. Do it. Yep. On my chart, at least. Scott Adams, why exactly is the no dying option? Is that the one in which magic creates enough test kits in less than a year? Or the magic that we'll have the first ever coronavirus vaccine soon? Interesting. Apparently, he made a Dilbert cartoon that people are upset about today. We should go check it out. If people are upset, then we should see what they're upset about. Okay, well, I can see tick coming back down to a reasonable spot. This is looking a lot like yesterday, where you are getting a lot of buying, but there's a lot of resistance to it too. Fed's barking. Fed trying to allow Main Street loans to encourage use will adjust as demand is assessed once program is open. Yep, and the initial pivot's 2874 and 2881. So here's the sellers trying to push it down here again. Okay, so they're going to go for the low. Oh, I didn't quite touch it yet. Oh, if they come back across the open, they're coming that close, then they're going to be very upset.
Jay Constance says hello Bitcoin looking bullish? I missed out on it.
I haven't looked
Air
at the move
Cages
yet.
says what's your profit target?
I'm looking for Bots' VIX target at 2907. I'm trying to take a swing trade. Okay, so they did trade a lower low there. So I would say this open is really mixed.
Jay Constance says BTC halvening in 5 days bullish. Eric
I
Cages
I
says
would ignore
Bitcoin
it.
is bullish.
I would ignore it. I guess if you want to day trade it, but I would ignore the halvening. It's not important. It's not an event that you should be front running the way that people are trying to.
Eric Cages says very, very bullish.
I mean I can't I
Eric
haven't
Cages
gone and
says
done
don't
math.
ignore the bullishness.
Yeah, I haven't gone and done math on, in a month from now, what, given current trends, what would be a reasonable valuation once the supply kind of starts to dwindle. But I do know that in order for valuation from an on-chain transaction perspective to really come into line, it would take a long time. So I think that what you're more likely to see is a bunch of day traders trying to buy it based off of the Bitcoin happening, and then everybody's already bought in, and so when it happens, it's the biggest non-event ever, and they all sell. I would ignore it. If I'm taking Bitcoin, I'm taking it from a long-term perspective, then probably you should have bought it a long time ago. If you're just trying to ride the trend. At this point, you're buying the high up into some non-event. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me That's just me. I'm not giving advice, but to me, it doesn't make sense as a trade, and I'm just ignoring it. I will factor it into my calculations as it happens. Okay, so the buyers made a little push back up there, and now that one didn't go.
Eric Cages says I don't think it's going to do much, but if history repeats itself, we could see Bitcoin price increase for the next 18 to 24 months.
I mean, from what I can remember, though, the thing is this halvening is different. I don't see in the past charts people trying to front run the halvening. This move up that we've had is relatively significant. Okay.
Eric Cages says people weren't aware of Bitcoin 4 years ago compared to now.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if your theory is in the past from the halvening, we tended to go up after the halvening because of decreased supply, and therefore this time it will do the same. The fact that everybody is front running it and that we've increased by 20-30% in the past month going into the halvening, I think destroys that trade thesis. They have already priced in the increase in value from the halvening. And because it's all being done as short-term trades, are they going to take profits? Then we're going to go down. And you're just going to end up buying a high. I don't like the trade.
Jacoby OG says I think you two are looking at different time frames.
I don't like the trade. I mean, even if you were looking for a longer term time frame, I think that you wait for it to come back into a reasonable valuation before you take it. The thing is we just barely grazed, like that last downturn, we barely grazed the top of
Eric
fair
Cages
value.
says so when was the halvening priced in?
We just barely grazed the top of fair value
Jacoby
based on
OG says
current
FOMO
numbers.
is real.
So And I don't know what it's going to be after the halving. I just know that that the decrease in available tokens is not as big of a factor as it seems. Mm, 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 mm. The biggest factor is always primarily the amount of money that they put in and the amount of money that's
Jacoby
moving
OG says,
around
have you looked at the stock to flow
the
models?
blockchain. The amount of money in the blockchain is the most significant factor, and it's still low. It's better than it was, but it's still quite low. And there's like an upper limit on it, because of the block size limit. Okay. So they made some lows there. The buyers are trying to recover it here. See, there's still kind of this area. Around 2872. Okay. So an ask just stacked at 25. 75.25. Oh, I can't see it. I need to readjust. I see it now.
Jay Constance says Tether continues printing more Tether. You said Tether should brought to justice, but I think they are untouchable and continues doing what they're doing.
I haven't heard anything from that court case in a really long time. It's not just dropped, right? I think that they're just waiting. I don't know when the next key.
Air Cages says you can't say for sure that the halving was priced in.
Wow.
When was it priced in? When Bitcoin was 6K, 12K, 9K. Was it priced in after the lockdown crash?
You can't price in future volume, right? I could go in and I could say if the current blockchain activity stays constant and we go out however many months to see, then and we could calculate it based off of there. But I'm just telling you that the denominator in that equation, because that's really what it ends up being, is the denominator, which is the number of contracts available, is not as significant. Doesn't end up having as significant of an effect. Past halvings, Bitcoin was already dramatically oversold when the halving happened. That's not what's happening. We're dramatically overbought when the halving happens. So it's not even close to the same situation.
Gary Rich says, did you know St. Louis Fed tracks cryptos?
I know. My thing is, until that number that I post every day says 50, I'm not touching it. They can go and buy it up as long as they want, but as long as you continue to hold it up there, it's a house of cards. Because the underlying activity on the blockchain doesn't justify the value.
Jay Constance says nobody wants to sell BTC now. I sold everything at 6K and now look at it. Gary Rich says BTC is in contango right now.
Well, and here's the other issue is that for Bitcoin to really continue to rise up, I mean, like, there's a certain valuation that you are going to be able to hold that is going to be higher because of the halving. But like I said, it takes time. It's not like an instant thing, right? Because you're adding every month. And so it kind of takes a few months for that to really actually affect the valuation, okay? But once you get past that point, in order to have like another true bull run, like to all-time highs, you got to get new people to buy it. And I don't know. I kind of feel like they burned the millennials a little bit too hard last time. They've tried bumping it several times and everybody ignored it. And like that move to what, 15K? last year or a year or two ago. Okay, well, they are hitting pretty hard. Well, the sellers are way. It's still actually rangy from my perspective. But we are kind of getting to some points where things might flip around for me.
Air Cages says see you at 100K suckers.
Okay. I think so. This is the thing that drives me crazy about Bitcoin, and it makes me not want to touch it. All of these people coming in and trying to convince me to buy it. Hey, you see Bitcoin? Looks pretty good. You're either looking for validation from me, which I'm flattered, but you shouldn't care what I think. Or B, you're trying to get everybody else to FOMO into it so that it will continue to go up, right? You're trying to recruit future buyers. That bothers me. If it's so great, you shouldn't have to do that. It should just, it's
Jay Constance
usefulness
says
on
crypto
its
is full
own.
of scams. Hex is a scam.
You know?
Crypto is for the sheeple. Gary Rich
Hex.
says BTC will run when the Treasury writes the rules and regulations. $1 trillion are waiting to put to work.
No, so this is
Air
another
Cages
thing
says, are
that
you
drives
talking
me
about
crazy.
me? Lol.
This is another thing that drives me crazy is people say, oh yes, the government adopting cryptos, that will be great for Bitcoin. Wrong. It couldn't be so wrong. If the US government creates a US dollar backed cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is worthless. Why the hell would you use Bitcoin at that point? At least from a utility perspective. At that point, the only reason you buy Bitcoin is because you don't like the Federal Reserve. That's the only reason to buy it at that point. All of the cool things about cryptocurrencies, like, the cool technology and the ability to not have to have a bank and the digital wallets and all of those sorts of things, you're going to use the US wallet. You're not going to use Bitcoin. This is the same thing within China. When China started saying, oh, we're going to do a cryptocurrency, this is awful for Bitcoin. They're literally going to ban Bitcoin in China, guys. Who's going to buy it then? Huh? It's not good for Bitcoin. Not good.
Air Cages says maybe people will choose a currency that a government does not control.
Well, there are certainly a lot of people that try and trade off of that trade thesis, but that sure didn't work out very well in this crisis, did it? Did it? So, I remain skeptical that that's ever going to happen. This whole thing that the government currency, it's going to fall apart and then everybody's going to go to
Gary
bit.
Rich
It's
says
never
they
going to
banned
happen.
it in China to prevent yuan from leaving.
Yep, exactly. The whole thing in China, I don't think that the cryptocurrency world correctly priced that one in yet.
Simon Todd says the problem is that you can only pay taxes with USDs.
Yep.
Air
Never
Cages
say never.
says never say never, Seth.
The whole thing is that the premise of that argument or that theory, that this long-term theory that Bitcoin is going to win out against fiat currencies, is fundamentally flawed because Bitcoin is deflationary. And we've seen conclusive proof in this rundown off of COVID. Bitcoin was not a safe haven despite central banks printing unprecedented amounts of money. And why? Because people have to sell their Bitcoin to live. People are selling it to live off of it. It's deflationary. When there's less economic activity, the reasons to own Bitcoin go away because the primary reason to own Bitcoin is speculative. You get what I mean? So that theory is already been proven wrong. And it's funny to me that people still try and trade it off of that idea. Okay, well, there was another push there. We're not quite past that last swing, but I think that we should see expanding volatility. So I'm still not incredibly triggered by it. I guess I need to decide how much I'm actually willing to risk on this. Oh, that was pretty fast move though, wasn't it? I have to say, if I wasn't trying to swing, I definitely would have already gotten out. In fact, I probably would have just gotten out before the open. But I want to hold it. I want to try and get one of those two targets. Like, I don't know. That looks like the sellers tried really hard on that one. Anyway, oh, sorry. I turned off the thing.
Simon Todd says if Bitcoin were to overtake USDs in market, Fed
Sure.
outlaws Bitcoin.
Sure.
RJ Wheels says there's 180 plus currencies in the world. I look at cryptos as just more currencies. Simon Todd says or will make it impossible to use. Jacoby OG says why would you use Bitcoin to buy a $3 cup of coffee? In 5 years from now that cup of coffee will be $21.
It's deflationary.
Scalp _a_pro says I'm a lazy trader. I'm eating noodles and don't feel like looking at the markets until after 10:30.
Well, just so let's look at it from another perspective. Oil is a significant part of the U.S. economy, and apparently, demand for U.S. dollars is somewhat related to demand for oil, and demand for oil just got creamed. But so what's happening is everybody has been fleeing to dollars, and that's actually been causing problems in the United States. The United States kind of has to devalue the dollar, which isn't necessarily a good thing, right? Can you imagine if your economy was based on Bitcoin and Bitcoin is going down? You're totally screwed. You're totally screwed. And the thing is that in a fiat system, you can print money to adjust it. In Bitcoin, what do? There would be, if you were in that economy, there would be an emergency fork proposal to change the block size reward and increase it so that, or decrease it, I guess, right? So that more people want to get it. Well, this is definitely not working out, is it? Because that was our spot right there. So we'll just dump it. Well, that swing trade, there was some great things about it. I'm glad that I traded it the way that I did. But I'm also feeling very FOMO because I know that if I had just tried to scalp that, I probably would have caught some of that short. And that was a pretty strong short.
Scalp _a_pro says blockchain doesn't have an corrective controls for a slumping economy, so it is a no-go.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think we should go back to getting a scalp. I think I'm actually can still justify a long here.
HEXMAN says what's up Seth Anthony here.
Oh, there you are. How's it going? Somebody earlier said that Hex was a scam. I still haven't looked into it. I don't care. Until my thing says that Bitcoin is like trading reasonably, I just don't care. Because at that point, it's just speculation.
Air Cages says bunch of Bitcoin haters in this stream.
I am a hater.
HEXMAN says me too.
I think the basic premise is wrong. See, at this point I should be selling it, right? But I'm not seeing that.
Air
Oh, you
Cages
know what? I
says
could have
Hex is a
taken this
literal
right here.
scam though.
Could have gotten out at 28.6875.
Simon Todd says I am not a Bitcoin hater.
Hmm.
Gary Rich says at Air a bunch of poor crypto haters.
Okay.
RJ Wheel says I'm ambivalent. HEXMAN says all this economy is a scam.
If you make your definition of scam broad enough, you can call anything a scam.
Air Cages says not as much as Hex though.
Okay. So there's the touch.
Air Cages says Richard Hart is a scammer. He created Hex, therefore it is a scam.
Oh, okay. A little concerned here that there's maybe too many longs. 448 is the most that we've had up on here. I suppose that maybe it's doing that because there's some people trying to get some limit orders filled up here and they want to go short.
Gary Rich says I enjoy hearing those who say crypto will take over the world. Just a bunch of menstruating magpies who are birdseed morons.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're recruiting. They're recruiting buyers. That's what I hate about it the most. They're trying to recruit buyers. Okay. Hmm.
Gary Rich says cryptos will have a place in our system, not take over everything. Period.
Well, I think that cryptocurrency technology definitely has a place in the system. I just think the idea that they're going to replace fiat currencies is ridiculous. Okay. Well, that was a real breakdown. I tell you what. Where do we have to go to get to the month? 28.79. 27.89. Where is it?
Jay Constance says why do people follow Elon Musk? What's so special about Tesla?
Well, hold up. 2050. Huh. Even the 100% target is too far.
HEXMAN says Mars.
Bot says minus 50% VIX target 2850.17 in sight.
Yeah. It's curious that they got down there so fast, right? Like every other day, it's taken them almost until the close to reach their target, and now today they reach it in the first 35 minutes of trading.
Gary Rich says the April jobs report is gonna be bad. Get ready to watch this short-term rally to fall back.
So you really think that that will have an impact? Because, I mean, haven't they not cared about the jobs numbers? Like, they know they're bad, and then the number comes out and it's bad, and then they buy anyways? I really missed my exit there, man. I mean, that is a pivot. And of course, as soon as they make the pivot, they start selling it again. Hmm. Might be getting out too early on that, but so what does that put us at? If we, I mean, obviously we're kind of like in a.
Gary Rich says the report is 21 million. 16% unemployment rate. Bad. The market front ran this recent rally. They front ran the Fed's speech as well.
I really let that. Hmm. I'm thinking that on a swing trade, I'm willing to risk 10 points, but that might be too much. I don't know. I think that there was a spot at which I was starting to get something that was telling me to get out, but I was getting like a definite like get out signal, and I didn't catch it because I did get a red arrow on this one thing that we're looking at. But so I don't know why I did that. I guess I kind of thought that there was a good chance that they were going to take it negative and even come down and test like this daily open area. So, yeah. Okay. So that's why I did it. I think that in the end I was taking on more risk than I realized. Okay. Why is it giving me one of those? Hmm. Oh. Well, they touched me. They touched it now, right? We're kind of getting into like I don't know what happens here now, right? Like we haven't since we've been looking at some of these things. Um, this hasn't happened. It's funny that the time that I tried the swing trade is the time that it doesn't work because it would have worked the other 2 days this week. Um, but now that we're to that target, I don't know what, because the one below that is like 28.25 or something like that, right? Like this is way far. And to take the month negative, you were way beyond what the VIX projected range would be. So you would have to see a real meltdown. And right now, I don't really see any news or anything like that. So I'm not sure they can make it. Well, he keeps pushing. I don't know. Couldn't gotten 20 or 30 off of that.
Gary Rich says every bottom I go long but press harder on the short side when I see exhaustion, just like the CL was a front run on the news.
Hmm. Okay. He's gonna go and do it. Yeah.
John Wick says I've never seen this software. Can you please briefly explain it?
You're talking about the DOM? Oh, hey, we're talking to you in Discord, yeah. Well, this is Jigsaw. This is the DOM. These are buys, these are sells, limit orders, and these are market orders in the middle. It's kind of chopping around there still. Very choppy. Almost there. All right, sweet. Mm, yeah, that's looking good so far. Cool. All right. That's pretty good. Okay, so that just, man, what the heck?
Luis Alarid says Elon is one cool dude. One day I'm going buy him a beer and talk first, Seth.
Elon, you want to talk about Elon? He's a weird guy. You know what? I would like to see Elon in different industries. Like, I think he is doing the things that probably he can have the greatest impact in, but, I'd
John
like
Wick
to see.
says another streamer I watch took a position in DGAZ during pre-market. Do you think you can briefly check it out?
Oh, not on stream. I'm very cautious about showing other videos on stream. I'm trying to only show public
JB
stuff.
says got in late. How it going today?
Well, JB, we tried a swing trade. It actually worked out really well at first, but then I decided let's hold it through
Gary
the
Rich
open and it
says
didn't work
no
out.
Elon is a terrible CEO.
Now I've taken another trade. I'm actually positive. So I don't know. We're just gonna kind of see what happens. No, but I would like to see, like, okay, if he tried scalping, what sort of ideas would Elon come up with? Because he's a highly creative person. But yes, he's probably a little impulsive. Yeah, it seems like some of his decision making is a little off. But you should expect that from highly creative people. You know what? Steve Jobs is kind of like the perfect balance, right? Because he was highly creative, but he also had those executive skills. But even Steve Jobs, he got kicked out, right? Because even he did things that were kind of dumb. I don't know. Maybe it was the case with Steve Jobs that just the creativeness far outweighed the negative sides of his personality, right? I should go and watch. There's a documentary on Netflix about him right now. I think I should go watch. Okay, so they are saying to me to save myself here.
Luis Alarid says I drove Steve Jobs when I was a chauffeur. He was one uptight dude.
Oh, really? He was uptight, huh? That's funny. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. Oh, I shouldn't have done it. Oh well. No, you know what? 50. It's okay. No. That last trade was a good trade, wasn't it? I've felt bad the past few days because I've come out positive in many situations where I felt like I shouldn't because I added contracts. But that one I had a really
Air Cages says I can confirm. I also was a chauffeur for Steve Jobs.
I had a really set plan about when I wanted to add to it, and it worked really well. I don't know if are you watching bots? Because we were talking about doing this yesterday. It worked out really well, didn't it? Well, there it looks like they're going to continue up a little bit.
Luis Alarid says drove for music in Los Angeles.
Bot says just got back. What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying I tried adding contracts as we discussed yesterday, and it's worked out really well. Even though I tried taking a swing trade. And
Luis Alarid says
that ended up being a
DGAZ
disaster.
rising.
I think I should have held that last one so my issue is still the take
JV
profit
says liked your
signal.
video on the button code. You can do more of those,
Yeah.
as I now have NinjaTrader and need to start coding in NinjaScript.
Well, somebody has been asking me about one click on the chart entry, and I'm gonna see if I can do that.
Bot says did you manage to get in on this short side run?
No. So here's what happened. Here's where I was dumb. Was that I had the long before the market opened, and I said, well, I think that overall we're going to end the day up and that we're going to take the upside target. So I said I'm willing to go through a pretty decent swing. So I let it come down. I didn't see the red at 28.6875, which is probably where I should have gotten out. But I think that what happened is because I said I'm going to do a swing, I basically kind of allowed myself to do something irrational because I was in a situation that I wasn't familiar with. And I ended up taking on more risk than I should have. Now, when all is said and done, even after that huge run, it wasn't that bad. And I am positive on the day, actually. So I think it ends up being okay. But yeah, I did turn around and I made a little bit short. But then after they hit our target and kind of slipped through it a little bit, I started taking longs again. And that last one, I took the long, and then when I got the confirming signal long, I added another contract and then took a little bit of profits. It worked out really well. And then here in this one, like I said, I didn't get the exit signal. Not a clear exit signal, at least. So maybe I could have held on to that one and it would have been even a little bit more. And then I could have been looking at the cross of 28.5775, which is the weekly open. I could look at that as another confirming signal or place. So I don't know. This is going back to it. I think that we've added something for confirmation signals that is really, really good. But I really got to work on exits. Because that first trade that I took, I could have exited out with a great profit on it, But I wanted to swing. I wanted to get the target. That's the one exit. And then level 2 aberration,
David Rivero says
another
anybody
target.
know which trading platform is that?
But I'm not getting those. So if I took a long, when do I take it off? So I'm using Jigsaw is what you're seeing here. I use Jigsaw and NinjaTrader 8. I have a video on my channel called What is the Best Futures Trading Software Platform? And I talk all about it. And there's a referral code if you decide to buy Jigsaw. If you buy it with the referral code that I have, it helps the channel out a lot. Thank you. But really, there's no best platform. This is the platform that I like because I really like trading and executing on the DOM.
Bot says 2857.75 is last night's Globex Open. Weekly Open is 2789.00.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, no. 2789. No, I think that 2789 is the month.
David Rivero says, ah, great. I heard about
Oh,
it,
no, that's
thank
not
you.
right either. That's not right either. No, 2857 is the day. You're right. You are right. It is the day.
Bot says and monthly open is 2871.50.
Yeah. So I was looking at when I was looking at the profile. Here's how I decided to take this long. I don't know if this was like a great idea or not, but here's how I decided to take it long. We reached the volatility projection very quickly. And when I started looking at where are the turning points, like on the week and month, they were too far. Like even if we hit the second target, it was too far. So I knew, well, I didn't know, but that's why I thought that there was a high probability of a significant pullback, if not complete retracement of this move. And here's another thing that I'm starting to go off of. So new theory for you, right? And it's based off of this thing, and I have a video. It's out right now. I should go find it and get a link. Let's go and get that link really quickly so you guys can watch this. It's only like a 5-minute video. Oh, I didn't. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Right there. Okay. Hey guys. So here's this other video you guys can watch. It's 4 minutes long. Okay. Anyways, and what they're basically talking about it in that story is that the floor is closed. The NYSE floor is closed, and because of that, they're having difficulty pricing in certain events that happen at the end of the day. So normally it would be like a non-issue, but lately there's been a huge spike of volatility around that. And so I'm thinking that because the floor traders aren't there, I think that we're trading more off of technicals than we normally would. So if that's true, then this entire sell could just be technicals and might not actually be a big deal. And it's the same on the upside. Okay, well, they're being a little difficult there. I think they are going to fill my first order, though. But I could... Okay, cool. Forgot how to even do stuff. So now there's a swing at 2862.75. So here's another thought for you, bots. A lot of the signals that we've been looking at lately are momentum signals. So like, it reaches past, like a lot of the signals when we're backtesting it, they're late, So momentum, and you're already getting a lot of momentum, and then by the time the trading signal sees it, it's already late. But those are great. I think that those make it really good for a continuation signal. So if we're looking for a take profit signal, then what we really need to be looking for is reversal signals. So we need to try and find some edges that are more likely to create a reversal. And then we have to kind of determine which level of a reversal it is that we actually care about. Okay, well, I'm getting an outside bar here, so that's one little key clue here. If we continue up past here, we could probably go back up to the open, but they might decide to try and turn down again. Yeah, they're definitely doing it. Doing it meaning price discovery. let's see here. What were you saying?
JB says I sort of saw it coming yesterday as the markets were overbought all day it seemed like and just hovering near the highs, so when it could not break out, I figured a sell was coming.
Yeah, that move yesterday.
JB says however I don't have the account size to take that trade.
Yeah, that move yesterday, it was kind of similar to this, like the. Oh, okay, yeah, good point, John.
Bot says mind the flip on the 10:30 new hour start.
And this whole trade has been in the counter trend period, so I don't know if it's well, they're continued up a bit. Well, let's just see what happens. Anyways, reversal signals. So anything you guys have that you think gives you a really good probability of any short-term reversal, I'm interested in. Interested in looking at it as signs to take profits. That's what we're looking for. Trailing stop. Trailing stop is a different one. That one is that's like a signal that you're way late. Oh, interesting that here where I kind of had taken my profit, I'm getting a continuation signal. That's good.
Yes. Bot says buy signal on that updated SS signal was 2851.50 on the 10:15 bar close.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're talking about, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. But I'm thinking we could combine like
tick
the
up,
3 or
tick
4
down
of
delta
these.
volume.
Tick up, tick down, delta. So, Car, I am definitely familiar with using like a cumulative delta, and I'm familiar with the difference between like using it from bid ask versus tick up and tick down.
RJ Wheel says that's a sweet entry 51.5.
Question: why is tick up, tick down matter to you? Why do you like using tick up, tick down? Because I've always wondered. It seems to me like that the using it based off of the bid ask at the current time is more accurate. Okay. And actually some offers pulling out of the way there. Oh man, so things really fell apart at like 28.68. So they're pushing. Okay, I'm not sure, so I'm just going to take it off. I mean, this has been an interesting day. I don't know. Some of that might have just been luck. there's a real problem. I really don't know how high they can go before we would get a meaningful pullback that I want to get out of. That last one right there, I was just kind of seeing a little bit of price discovery lower that I didn't like. I need to think about this a second. Let me show you. I'm going to put this down here. Obviously, this trade shouldn't happen. Like MFE of 30 and MAE of 77 is really bad, right? But we did make it back with some really solid trading. So, obviously, I don't think that this one is necessarily bad, but we're going to need to investigate it more. But some of the other things that we're doing are really working really, really well. I'll be back.
Jacoby OG says May, MFE, what is that? CarOZU says you could see the momentum change as it ticks up or down. Total data accumulates, but I'm always getting the data from the time and sales or printed data. In the record data. Junior says May equals maximum adverse excursion.
Bot says maximum adverse, favorable excursion.
Junior says MFE equals maximum favorable excursion.
Bot says.
Air Cages says Seth turned a profit and disintegrated. What's happening?
Mhm. Oh, yes. So somebody asking what MFE and MAE is. Oh, yeah. And they explained what it stands for, but just to be a little bit more detailed, if you've never seen that term, that's basically from when I opened the position, what was the maximum loss that I could have ever have taken, and what's the maximum profit that I could have ever have taken. And we can use that as somewhat of a measure of efficiency. There's another thing that you can't really track. Well, they can't. You probably could, but I'm not sure how you do it, and Jigsaw doesn't do it. But you know, how much if you got out and it was a loss, how much further did it go, right? So like how good of an exit actually was it? Like was there something that was really really bad, or was it like you got out and then it immediately turned back up, and so you really should have held it, right? And then conversely, like on these ones, you know, I took this one, I could have held that. There was a good let's see here. Oh, there was actually a good 10 points in between some of those, right? Oh, no, wait. 54 to 57. So there was a good 3 points that I missed in there, right? So they don't really tell me that, but they tell me when I'm holding the position, what's kind of going. And one of the things that you want to look at is like, how much did I make compared to how much I actually allowed it to go against me? You want that MAE, that maximum adverse excursion, to be as small as possible. Because if it's large, then what it's saying is that you're just holding on and hoping that it works out.
Jacoby OG says very cool, that makes sense. Appreciate the explanation.
So let's come over here and let me show you a couple of things since we're on the subject and I'm thinking about it, and now would be a really good time to. Oh, hold on. I think it was going to do that. Okay, and so I just want to look at the last, let's say, 2 weeks. Okay. So I had one day that was pretty bad, right? Oh, which day was that? That was the 21st? Oh, yeah, I don't want to include that day. Why is it including that day? Oh, we want to go from here to here. That's where we want. I was saying that was before we made some adjustments, so that particular stat's not really relevant anymore. Okay, so here's how we've been doing so far, the past like week or so, right? I've actually taken way more trades than I should.
That chart bots.
Bot says 50% retracement achieved.
Cool. Ooh, yes. Good. Okay. Okay, so hold on. We need to write a couple of. Oh my gosh, my mind is just going all over the place. What the heck is with me today? I definitely took my medication, so it's not an ADHD thing. But it's like overly active. Yes, it's okay. Trade checklist.
Bot says thanks at RJ Wheel.
Management. Okay, so what I want is confirmations, take profit, take loss, take profit. One of the things that we need to look for is the 50% retrace. That's definitely one that we care about. Okay. Anyways. So here's our stats. Now the thing is there's been a lot of mistakes in here. So what's happening is I'll take way more trades than I think I should. All right. So keep that in mind. We can come in and we can look at our stats and we can kind of determine a couple of things like, what is my win percentage right now? Well, there's a little bit too many losers on longs, right? 36, that's not very good. 48% though is great. Okay. If I'm around 45%, I'm probably in the profitable zone. So that's good. Okay, and my profit factor is 1.34. Ooh, these ones are 2. Wow. Why am I doing so much better on shorts than longs, though? That doesn't really make sense. Although, if I had taken the profit on that first long and then maybe gone short, we were talking about a small enough sample size that those things could maybe change it.
Bot says new long signal at 2,863.75.
Oh, this is your other one, huh? Interesting.
Bot says 10:42 Eastern Time bar.
Oh, I missed it, so I'm kind of at the 74. What was 74? That was just a pivot, I guess. Where's the open? 77. Oh, I don't know. Wow, this is really going. I guess I should probably buy into it at 72. Because that takes us back to the month open, right? Okay. Anyways,
Bot says testing month open at 2,871.50.
so I like here that my winners are bigger than my losers, right? So if I can keep that profit factor of like, 1.5 to 2
RJ Wheel
times,
says cuz right now shorts move faster than longs.
yeah, it could be. Anyways, there's a couple of things here in my stats that if I'm able to reduce the mistakes and we continue working on this, it's really promising. I don't think it's there yet though. But that's kind of how I would look at my stats, right? Like what's your win percentage? How much are you making on your winners and your losers? Because what will often happen is I'll see people, they'll show me stats with really big skews. Like they are winning like 80% of the time, but when they lose, it's really big. Or conversely, they don't win very
Bot says
often,
we
but
now
when
have
they
full
do,
time
it's
frame
huge.
continuity on the month, week, day, and hourly
Yeah,
timeframes.
I really should have taken that earlier, huh? Where would it have been? I should have taken it at 71. Oh, actually, it's not bad. 71.25 would have been better, but it's not. It's not too bad of an entry, so I think we're okay. Kind of, it really makes you wonder now with the sell and everything, doesn't it? Are they going to go all the way back up and make it to 28.97 on the other side? That would be something else. Market seems, well, I think that we're getting technicals are really coming in and dominating the action, I think. Must be what's going on. Oh, did you send me? No. It's also interesting to me, John, that you updated that indicator and instead of running it on bonds, because that's what we were planning on using it for, that you're running it on equities. But I guess you felt that it was really strong, so it definitely gives you a good entry. Man, that last one would have been amazing if I had taken it at 62.
Bot says no, you're thinking of Soren's indicator.
Oh, it's not Soren's indicator. Oh, you're doing it with the super smoother.
Bot says this is the super smoother entry we worked on the other day.
Oh,
Bot says yes.
but you said that you added an HMA to it. I guess that doesn't make sense to me because
Bot
wouldn't.
says added an HMA RSISNG falling filter.
So are you saying that instead of using if the super smoother is rising and falling, you use the HMA is rising and falling instead?
Bot says 8-period Hull moving average.
Yeah. Are you using that in replacement of the super smoother rising and falling? That would maybe make more sense. Because if you're just adding it as another condition, then it should just give me less signals. But those signals that you're telling me are like way earlier. Okay, so they had a good run up there, but then they came back really quickly.
Bot says no. The 8 HMA has to be rising or falling when we get the SS cross signal.
Gotcha. That's what I thought. That makes sense. And then that would make it faster. Oh, very good. Very, very, very good. Did you backtest it? Because we had a backtester for that one, right? Yeah. You hear my stomach there? Yeah. Not really a fan of the range they're trading across here in ES. It's a little too
Bot
wide.
says if cross above close, my super smoother 1 and is rising, my HMA.
Right. No, I understand.
Bot says my HMA equals 8 period HMA typical.
I think no, that all makes sense. I think that we want to have both. Well, you don't want to have both of them for the entry signal, but you want to still keep the is rising super smoother as the confirmation, right? Because I tell you what, when the arrows drew on this one, when I was already in a position and then I got an arrow, it was good. I could add to it and take a little sequential profit. And that is the only reason that I've been able to pull off what I have today.
Bot says no is rising, my HMA is the confirmation.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm basically saying use your new version for the entry signal and use the old version for a confirmation signal. It's slash adding contracts. Or just a higher
Bot says I understand you want
average.
both.
Yeah. Or maybe another thing you could try is like a whole moving average with a larger time period or something like that. I don't know if I like that. What just happened there? Yeah, I'm gonna ditch this. There's too much.
Bot says I mentioned yesterday we need to figure out how to build the price pivot confirmation bar closes into the strategy.
Okay, so we can definitely add that in there, but is that we're saying that if you get a pivot confirmation that is an added contract?
Bot says also rebacktesting. You know how I feel about that shit.
Yeah. You know, somebody was showing me yesterday. They're doing a strategy pretty similar to the Soren thing, and except for that theirs is always in the market. And he showed me that his back tester was always taking like the close price of the bar in. When he did it live, it was always taking the open price of the bar. And I was like, I'm not quite sure why it's doing that. I've run into things like similar to that, but always the other way around, where it was taking a better entry than you thought. Or it was taking a better entry than it could get. And I knew how I was doing that. So I don't know what he's doing in his code that's allowing him to do that.
Bot says I'd much rather use the real-time data to test a strategy.
Yeah. Well, we can run it live for sure. The sellers keep pushing there. Dang it. Dang it all. Shoot. Well, it's funny. I saw right where it was happening, and I just wasn't fast enough. Okay. Getting price discovery type of behavior again. Oh man, is this gonna do the head fake one on me? Uh, this is already looking bad. Yeah. No. Hmm.
Bot says initial pivot low looks to be holding a supply there on the retest. Bot says 2874.00.
Yeah. I'm interesting. The old version of the indicator just gave like one of those bad signals, you know, where like it's so late that you end up selling the low. Seems like that buyers can't make it go positive again though. Hmm. As soon as I click it, it does something, man. I should probably, that was 2. Well, we're still good, but I see that there was supply up there, but we're kind of in between still. Like it didn't really cross the bottom side of it. it meaning like the bid-ask spread. It's just little stack there. The way would be so much fun. Can't you imagine? It'd be so much fun. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. It's not triggering. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's wiggling around too much there. Cumulative delta is stable. I don't know. See, that's pretty extreme selling right there. ECB, German Bundesbank will have to shoulder the ECB legal fight. They will have to take the lead in persuading authorities that European Central Bank has not exceeded its powers to avoid compromising the ECB independence. Oh. Just in, former Attorney General Eric Holder endorses Biden for president. See, like there at the bottom, it's not. You notice they just kind of run out of steam. Okay, so there was a stop run there of some sort. Kind of stop run push back. I guess we selling.
Bot says lol. Bot says definitely like a boss. Bot says carrot tick running out of steam here.
RJ Wheel
Yeah.
says shocker.
Bot says still have TFC on the hour, day, week, and month.
Eric
Yeah.
Cages
I
says
mean,
Seth either doesn't trade at all or overtrades like a boss. There is
yeah.
no in between.
Oh, it's reading all of the messages that I missed because I haven't been paying attention. That's what it's doing. Okay. I'm like, what? I definitely will sometimes overtrade. Like I took 2 trades in that area, right? Yeah. Oh, 3 trades in that area. They were all longs and they're not working out. That kind of tells you something, right? But John is right that we're still positive on the time frames. But like we're in like this like really strange area that like I don't know. They're definitely playing around with it. This could just be the stop out the range before going higher sort of a thing, you know? Last TFC on the monthly time frame after we broke 71.5. Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. We're between the monthly and then what, 28, 61, 25? That was the daily, right? Hmm. Quite a bit of wiggle here. It's a different set of levels if you only look at the RTH charts. Wow. Now you're talking about changing something. Thank you. Okay, so there's a good spot right there. bunch of levels there. I feel like I'm a little too focused on what I'm looking at right now to try and look at what they are on the RTH chart. Do you really think it matters? I mean, now I have to look at 8. Wow. I really freaking hate that. They're going to go for it. They're going for that day. And it'll take the hour negative too. For what we're doing, we're mostly looking at the hour opens and half. Yeah, that's true. You notice that they just barely came short of the hour turning negative there. I find it a little frustrating when you get in it. It's like, it's going, and then all of a sudden, when it matters to you, it doesn't go. Confirmation bias, maybe. I think that sometimes I'm getting in the wrong spots. It gave me a signal. I guess that one's kind of telling me a little bit that I'm late, though. Freaking finally. Still with 50 minutes to go on the hour, yeah. Well, I'm thinking that this is the spot where they're starting to try and get some stuff happening so that they can control the direction of the next hour. It looks like that the sellers are still being pretty aggressive. Yeah, it's the last 15 minutes of the London. That's a good point, too. I feel a little tense today. Oh my gosh. There was a good little click there. Was that a pull? Yep. Oh, a stack. It was a stack on the offer. See that big guy who just stacked right there, 28.6350? Okay, they traded him. Please explain your order placement. I'm not sure I understand it myself. It's not a good thing to say, is it? I don't know. In the E-mini, I'm kind of watching it go down, and I'm waiting for the spot where I see the liquidity seems to be holding it. And I kind of pay attention to where the last one was on each side. That's what I'm trying to do. They're shying away from the bottom still. Still got about 10 minutes. Ooh, 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 come on. Yeah. So where are we at over here? Let's put this up, bring this back over here. Oh yeah, that's cool. That undoes those mistakes. Let's not call them mistakes, but just trades that weren't as good. I don't think they were straight. Some of them, I don't think that any of those were straight up mistakes, but they weren't as nice as we'd want, right? I really want to see them go to 28.57. 28.57. 75 right there. Well, right there. Previous close. It's almost there. I remember when we had that really strong upswing. We're now probing back the other way through that. This very much looks to me like a market where, even though for most of the time frames we're still positive on the day, but I mean that can change very quickly if we get below 28.57.75. It looks to me like a day where no side really has a really firm control on things. It is literally trading on technicals. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. If I was so lucky. Bots is stepping away. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, John. Send me that stuff later. I have a lot of meetings today, so I don't know if we'll be able to talk very much, but oh hey, do I still have that link in my no, I don't. I'll put it up in here. Okay. Okay. Interesting. There was a little bit of liquidity building there, and then the buyers just plowed through it. Ooh. This candle is ending in turning into a real bender. This 5-minute candle. There he goes again. Wee. Ooh. Whoa, wait, are they going to go make another low? I mean, they're going so fast. They could do it. What's this picture you got here, John? Oh, yeah. It's ugly. For sure. Wow. Okay, a child just like ran around upstairs. This might be an exit. Not even getting the change of the hour yet. Okay. watching the close of this 1 minute bar here. 10 seconds. Did not actually confirm. Are you going to become a swing trader now? I mean, I would like to, but I think that my first attempt at that did not really work out so well, did it? So, okay, cool. I mean, honestly, if I had not tried to make that first one a swing trade, today would have been one of my best days trading this. This whole thing in here was not very good, was it? But I was able to minimize the damage pretty good, and then we get a big one again. But that's the thing that I find is so crazy about today is this one was plus 50 at one point, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is better than I've been doing. So I'm definitely starting to feel more confident about what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm glad I got out of that. Oh yeah. Look at that. Because the tick is just like going crazy now. They're all turning again. So they probably think they probably think that might have been a failure to push lower and exhaustion and pivot. And I don't know if it is for sure, but it's probably enough to take me out. So I like it. That one actually ended up being the best trade, that last one. So, so interesting. Oh, we had a lot of people today come in and go. Had some good trading and bad trading, but wow, I did well. Time to leverage up. Yeah, I wish. I find swing way harder than scalping, so now I just focus on scalping, and I'm way more consistent. One sign one needs to trade the style they're comfortable with, in my opinion. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, JB, is that I've been looking at it and I'm like, what do I think when at the end of the day, do I think that it's going to be an up close day or a down close day? And if I look up at back over the past 15 days or so, I think I've been right 12 of those days. Today was one of the days where I think I'm going to end up being wrong. So, yeah, I just, it's kind of weird that today that I decided to try and do this swing trade that I've been watching. I think it's interesting. You want to come in, dear? Come in. She's watching. Brent, come in. Come in. I'll show you. Look, you're right here. I wasn't saying anything important. Here's Abby woke up at 9:30. You need to come in a little bit. She could hear me on the iPad. That's funny. So now, are you gonna say anything? You're not gonna say anything. Make sure they get a good look at you in the camera. There you go. Good job. Yeah. JB says my nerves get too frazzled on swing trades. Yeah. Well, I think I have something that can be the basis of a swing trade, but clearly just trying it that one time, there's way more that I would need to get in there on, right? Because I saw that swing up and then, hey, like I could have taken it off and made the plus 50. But, you know, I wanted to hold it, and that's okay. That's okay, because if we had gone up to my profit target, it would have been really, really great. It would have been really, really great, right? But I didn't. The question is, at what point should I really have gotten out? Because I was going off of like, you know, a certain risk reward, and that wasn't right. I could have known way earlier than that the trade was breaking. So I need to, I kind of need to figure some of those things out a little bit better. She's a fan, I guess so. She was what she, you know what she does is she keeps watching the earthquake video. She keeps watching the earthquake video. So it's funny. Anyways, we need to make some more videos. I want to make some fun videos. So maybe maybe today would be a good time to make a fun video. I don't know. We'll see. Well, should make the rabbit make some predictions. Will the rabbit say? Will we close above 3,000 at the end of the year? Yes or no? That earthquake video really. Oh yeah. Well, what happened was so many people came in afterwards and watched the live stream because I changed the title. So today's title should be "I fail at swing trading, but have one of my best trading days ever." I fail at swing trading, but still win. I think I can do the title better than that. What can we put in there? Swing trading fail, but so we should start with swing trade fail. Swing trade fail, but I still end the day positive. That's maybe better. Yeah. The title should be Seth is trading like a drunken rabbit. No, we're not at that point yet. Listen, JR, I feel like lately, past few weeks, I've been way better. I am a little concerned that the market's going to start doing crazy stuff and then I'm going to start doing crazy stuff again. But because I'm noticing that every day I kind of feel like I'm on the edge of that. And then it ends up working out anyways. Maybe that just means the strategy is working the way that it's supposed to, right? You have winners and losers, but I think that the risk management is working a lot better. Like we're making so much more on those winners. So I'm just yapping. I don't know why. I just I find what's going on right now really interesting. It's not the way that I expect it to play out, you know? It's a compelling story to me, you know? It's like, oh, you watch a movie, you want to see stories that are good stories, but you never sit down and think about your own life as like, wow, this is a really good story. Like this would make a good movie or something. You never think about that. But like I'm looking back on it, and I don't think that it would make a good movie, but I think it makes a good YouTube video. I think it makes a great YouTube video. And I'm just happy that it's working out. And the channel is doing really good. Good job, Seth. It's good to see you in a good mood for once. Have I been acting a little down? I've actually been feeling really good. You know what it is? It's that baby. It's hard. It's hard to be down when you have pretty much spend your whole evening with a baby. So, and I'm lucky, you know, the wife gets most of the, because he is being fussy lately, but she takes the brunt of that. So I'm lucky. How about this title? Shoot myself in the head, chaotic. No, I'm really not so into the click. I mean, I do want to have a title that is good in search. That's why I put swing trade at the beginning of it. That's why I put swing trade at the beginning of it. But I don't necessarily like the clickbaity titles because I always think about, okay, so if I get this title and it attracts a lot of viewers, what kind of viewers is it going to attract? And is that really the audience that I want to have? You know, I'm always thinking that. So anyways, I really am just blabbing now. I should go. I will see you guys tomorrow. It'll be Thursday. We get some of those jobs numbers, and then Friday it's going to be like, whew. So week is not over. And make sure you check out the video. Let me post it in here again. Go and watch this video afterwards. Watch the whole video. Give it a like. I'm sure that some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. So in that video, and you will know more about it than me. So please, please, please comment on that video, all right? Because I think this is important information that I was missing out on, and I think that a lot of people are. So, yeah, help me out. It will not only help the channel, but I think that it'll help a lot of traders. So, anyways, stay profitable.